Hey y'all, if you are not a member of my Patreon, go ahead and click my Patreon link below. Become a patron and support my content today. All right, you guys, so let's go ahead and jump into this story. As everybody is going into a frenzy about the coronavirus, I found this particular story very interesting, and I'm going to tell you why here in just a second. But let's go ahead and look at this according to Yahoo News. California governor issues order allowing state to commandeer hotels if needed to treat coronavirus patients. California Governor Gavin Newsom issued an executive order on Thursday addressing the coronavirus pandemic, saying his goal is to fully implement these procedures and protocols to slow down the spread, to get through a peak, and to get through the next few months so we don't overwhelm our healthcare delivery system. His executive orders allows the state to take over hotels and medical facilities if necessary to treat coronavirus patients, and also gives government officials the ability to hold private teleconferences without violating open meeting laws. In California, 198 people have tested positive for the coronavirus. Newsom said a 10% increase from Wednesday. Earlier in the day, he called for the statewide cancellation of all gatherings of 250 or more people. Now, why I find this story particularly interesting is because we are in a total state of panic and hysteria that is being created. Well, I want to say more emotionalized and ramped up by media personalities and politicians. The sad part about this is that these state emergencies allow politicians to come in, and it grants them very authoritative power. The problem with that is that the easiest time to get people to sell their rights away, get people to agree with mostly anything, get people to not think rationally but emotionally, is when they are in a state of heightened fear. Okay? So now you have many of these politicians that are going to be able to use their authoritative power in these executive orders to do things that completely go against the Constitution. With this particular move, with what Governor Newsom is doing, this really threatens the Fifth and 14th Amendments. And so now we get to questions about private property, public use, and what is just compensation. You have federal and local governments that have been chipping away at property rights for the longest time. And as we all know, property rights are literally the basis, the very foundation to wealth and freedom, prosperity. And so you now have government officials that will be able to not only take over hotels, which are private property, but other medical uh, facilities where anybody could find this. Theoretically, where you can find this. Okay, I just don't understand, other than you being in a completely emotionalized state where you just want government officials to do something, and that something completely being just do anything. Not only that, it calls into question even just hotels, right? You have to think about health and safety codes and ventilation systems and all these other things. And so people can be such a point to rush things that we are hustling backwards, doing things incorrectly, killing people by fear, or putting people in even so worse predicaments than they would have been in the first place. So do not be willing to sell away your rights because you are in a state of panic and fear. I also talked about this earlier on Twitter. If I'm learning anything from this coronavirus hysteria, it is showing me how incompetent and unprepared a lot of political figures and healthcare professionals are. And is this really the government that you would want 100% responsible for your healthcare? They have the lock and key on not only solutions but resources. Who does and who doesn't have medical access. So I think this is something to think about. And while a lot of media personalities are trying to point the finger, and blame federal officials for this, and they think, oh, we're making Trump look bad. In fact, you're proving to me once again that I don't want any of you guys completely or 100% responsible for medical solutions where we don't have private options. So in fact, y'all are once again proving that and showing us that, particularly if you're going to have governors snatching up private medical facilities saying, hey, this is ours now, you sit back, we're going to run it. So honestly, this is showing a lot of people's failures, even the people that are so whacked out, these blue check marks, that you can't even see that your hypocrisy and you trying to point the finger. I mean, it just makes no sense. And you're showing your own failures in your own logic and positions. So yeah, this is just getting really crazy. I don't know. It's just reminding me of a really bad movie. The government forcibly taking over private property to deal with this, as if, first of all, we don't have governmental properties. I don't know. It just brings so much to question. But those are a few of my thoughts. Leave you guys thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.